Spencer Lewis here from Peterborough Speedway.com. I'm here with Sunset Speedway late model competitor, the Hillsdale Hurricane, Thayne Hallyburton. Talk about the Autumn Colors Class of 2014 edition coming up October 10th, 11th, and 12th. Thayne, you're a constant presence at the Classic, my man, but this will be your first time bringing this particular hot rod out there, brand new car. Tell me a little bit about what's coming up in a couple of weeks at Peterborough.
I'm excited. You know, I think I get around that track about as good as I get around anywhere else. So I'm excited for it. The car's going to be good, and the nice thing about that race is anything can happen. You just kind of got to hang in, don't get spun out, and you're always there at the end. So I think last year I was seventh or 5th place with a couple to go and in the mix, and it's just kind of virtue having a good race car, not using up and not getting turned, because everyone gets turned there. So
guys always say that Peterborough's a track that really beats you up.
Yeah.
Why is that, and would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I mean, it's just rough. Like, your kidneys hurt for a couple days after. These bump stop setups, there's no give in the suspension. You go down in the corner and she just throws you around. And I know some guys have gone to wear mouth guards there. So, you know, it's just, on the bump stops, it's pretty tough. But, I mean, end of the day, Sunset's not a whole lot better bump-wise. It's a new pave, but there's a bunch of bumps down the backstretch, and into one there's a bad one in the middle. So we're kind of used to getting our butts kicked now.
Now, are you almost able to sort of use the bumps as a strategy? Like, if you know a guy is about to go into a part of the racetrack where it's going to upset the car a little bit, you can sort of use that to set up a pass?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, into 3 there is key. There's a bump down the backstretch. If a guy gets a little loose off of 2, he hits that bump and the car shoots sideways, you can kind of shoot under him into 3. And that happens quite a bit at Peterborough. It's where you see most of your passing.
Now, I know that Peterborough, the track, it's not uncommon to see the track change several times over the course of the weekend to go, it'll loosen up, then it'll get tight again. I mean, how many, I was going to say, I mean, like, is that something you sort of need to be aware of and sort of look to see where your heat is in the lineup to know what you have to prepare for?
Yeah, I mean, the setups are really different day to day there. I mean, you'll find yourself changing springs. So it's kind of crazy, but that track is so susceptible to heat. It gets a little bit of sun and it gets just slicked right off. And if there's a bunch of rain and it's cold, the old Peterborough has no grip kind of goes away and you feel like Superman out there. So it's really different.
Now, in the feature event, it's a 75 lap race, but some of those races can drag on. I mean, we've had 75 lappers at Peterborough go, more than an hour, hour and a half. So when the race drags on that long, do you actually see the track changing a few times over the course of the race itself?
I mean, honestly, it's the dry, the floor dry they put down. Last year we had a pretty bad crash off of 2, and we had a red flag for a while. I actually fell asleep in the car. My spotter had to wake me up. But coming off of 2, there was no grip after because the speedy dry they put down. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't good.
Now, I know that, I mean, whenever you talk about the Autumn Colors Classic, the racing's only half of it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the other half.
It's a great time. I mean, everyone's there. Every classic car races, so everyone you've kind of known from mini stock days. I got friends that race Hurricane midgets now, so everyone's there, and it's kind of the only time where everyone's there other than velocity and stuff like that. And they're only here for a day. You're there for 4 days with them, so it's a good time that way, and nobody misses it. And I mean, the biggest thing about it is it's a good party, but to win that race it's everything for all of us here. That's the one thing, I don't think that race will ever change in its luster because everyone wants an Autumn Colors championship.
I mean, you've been everywhere with this classic car, whether it's as a competitor, as a fan. I mean, you've been in more than one Reynolds, you've been in more than one Velocity. I mean, the old court, the Speedway Summer Sizzler event, you were there as a fan. I mean, you've been to every crown jewel there is, Beat the Heat, Dash for Cash. Is there just a different atmosphere when you walk through the gates of the Classic on Sunday morning and you know something's about to go down?
Yeah, because everyone's there. No one with a fast race car misses that race. Not one person. Unless they're scared of somebody. That's about the only reason somebody doesn't show up. So if you win there, you win a heat there, you've done something. I got all my heat win pictures from that place because it's just, a heat race could be a feature at half the other tracks. 11, 12 cars in the heat. That's features in most places now.
Would you go so far as to call that a career-defining win? Is that something you could go away on and just say, I won the Classic, pack up and not race again?
Yeah, well, that's never going to...
Not literally, of course, figuratively.
They're going to have to crane me out of a car before I quit racing. But, I mean, end of the day, it's one of those things where, everyone's career is kind of defined by championships, right? You don't get into the Hall of Fame unless you have a Super Bowl or a Stanley Cup or, Cooperstown's a little bit more lenient on MLB championships because it's so hard to win, but it's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to have it to be thought of as anything special. So it's the one win that you want to have. at the same time, it's entirely in your hands. You know, hockey is baseball, football, it's a team thing. You know, as long as the race car is good, there's 10, 12 guys with the same race car there at that race. The winner's the best driver on the day, and that's the reason it's so special.
None of this happens without the right marketing support. You've been fortunate enough to bring some new folks into the fold in 2014. Thank the people that are going to get you to Peterborough and get you through that wild ass weekend.
You know, I'm extremely excited to bring Transaxle on board and for next year with them. And you know, you drive a big rig in Central Ontario, you know who they are because you use them. So that's kind of the deal there. And you know, Top Side Prize came on board, and they pretty much covered our tire bill for the year, and it was awful big at Sunset. So you know, thanks to them and Hillsdale Service Center. Can't do it without mom and dad and the family business. These things aren't cheap, and this thing especially isn't cheap, and they go above and beyond every year for me and my brother, and we really appreciate it.
Check them out on Facebook at Halton Brothers Racing, at T Hallyburton on Twitter, and we will check in with them all weekend long at the Autumn Colors Classic. Thank you so much for the time, and best of luck coming up in a couple of weeks.
Cool, thanks.